Well, here's an unusual colour we don't get to see very often, so I thought I'd show you this. Especially interesting because it's a 2 litre, just a standard 2 litre 1965 Series 1, I believe we're going to call it, Rover 2000. Now, I've had this car in my lockup for quite a long time. Always looks like a 64 Plymouth to me, these. 63, 64, both the same I think. 2 litre, single overhead cam. It's been stored for a long time, this car, but the body's in really good condition. The base unit's really good. This car, owned by a Rover collector for a long time in Auckland, was always going to be part of a restoration. Never got done. Unfortunately, it's been sat for a very long time. Gearbox is out of it in the back. I think they were about to do the clutch on it, and then they kind of stopped. They kept the reg on hold all this time. Pretty cool looking car, I think. Now these, kind of revolutionary when they were first designed, because they put a sort of very different suspension in these, and it was done to create extra room to put the gas turbine engine in, which they never actually used, and they just left it. It was a Dion tube, I think, at the back, and the front ends are just a very strange combination. Pretty cool, actually. There's plenty of room to put different engines in them, which was pretty good because they put the Rover 3.5 litre V8, which was derived from Buick, of course. Buick all aluminium motor, and that really changed these. Very successful police car in the day. The one thing these didn't have a lot of was room. Rover was generally a big car. If you look at a P5, that was a large car for large people with lots of room. You're going to about to see something pretty cool. Interior in this is really good. Like, really good. One of these needs a big hide feed, but not torn or anything. Lovely dash. Just really like these. You can see this is very much from a different era. You know, keys in the middle. Single spoke wheel. Clock. Strip speedo. Just very cool. Very interesting looking thing, you know. In the back, a set of Los Angeles police lights from Crown Vic from a long time ago. I'm going to do something with those. Never had a lot of room in the back of them. Like, I mean, they're adequate. But if you're your average government minister, not really the right size. This is incredible in here. Look at this. Usually these are rusty hairs inside the doors, but this one's very good. Good on the bottoms too. I want to try and see this go to a good home. Like, it really should go to somebody who's going to restore this one. It's an early girl too, 65. They sort of changed a little bit in later years. I really like the Series 1, my favourite, one with a chrome grille and so on. Rover badge stuck out in the back. Aluminum boot, or aluminium, whichever you want to put it. Just a really cool old bus, great shape, like sort of ahead of the time. I like the way that they're pretty swoopy. I mean, I guess if you're into American cars, this is no surprise to you, but British cars, you know, usually a little bit stayed on the design, but this was definitely revolutionary. They were shooting at something completely different when they put this together. I think the first one was 63, if I remember right, when these came out. Which are like very modern 4 headlights, you know. Nice swooping roof line. Fuselage type styling, I guess. I suppose that we can look at it like that. Just a very kind of cool, very interesting car. 2 litres, a little bit anemic, especially with a single carb. They got a lot better with a 2 litre and 2.2 TCs, which was the twin carb version. This car's been stored away for so long. Look at it. It's really good. I can't believe how good it is in here. Sit behind the wheel so I'll show you. So that is like a ribbon type speedo. As you speed up, a red line comes from here and it just continues all the way along. But it's a ribbon. It's a long line that just keeps on increasing. It's really cool, actually. I'd like to show you this, but obviously this one doesn't run because it's been stood for a long time. Look at that. It's even got a Rover 2000 keyring. Very cool. Fog lights, wipers, flashers, air fan, interior lights, and also really cool in these. Just hit petrol reserve switch. They just, I don't know why they designed them a little bit smaller. These cars should have just been bigger. They just needed to be a bigger car. I mean, a full set of gauges on it too as well. Fuel and temperature. I don't think I'm going to let this one go for scrap. I think it's just too nice for that. I might have to tuck it away somewhere again if nobody really wants it, but I'm probably going to put it up for sale for the next week or so and see what happens. If it doesn't go, well, I guess I'm going to keep it with me. If you look at the original colour, it was that light Wedgwoody blue colour. Somebody obviously decided to pretty that back in the, so I would guess, the 70s. If anybody can tell me what year that is. Can you see it? Says warrant expires in 2010. Oh, what, not 2010, it'll be 10th month. So I'd like to know when they went out of fashion. I would guess that's at least 20 plus years ago, maybe 30 years ago. It's been off the road for a very long time, this car. But the base unit is very, very good. Should I repower it? Should maybe that's what this car needs, is a modern engine transplant. Handle really well. Or I think I should probably sell it to somebody who wants to restore it. So if you want to restore one of these, let me know. I think it's a really cool thing, and I think you'll really like it. Yeah, very undecided on these. My grandfather had one in 1966. Same sort of colour, really. It was actually a darker blue than this. My nan was reversing at the chocolate factory. She used to work at biscuit factory in Merthyr Tydfil, and she reversed that, and she just clipped the track on the way, and she said, "Oh, right, I think I've put a scratch down the side of the car." She hadn't had a look at it. It was the left-hand side of the car, and just this door here, she literally ripped the skin clean off it. Luckily, no more damage, just this door here, and that door sat around the back of our stables for years and years and years. My grandfather was less than impressed, and she tore the door skin off his new car, but she just managed to catch it in just the right space to just pull it off. Yeah, so my nan was in the bad books. He talked about that for about 35 years, I think. Well, the door was at the back of the house for 30 odd years. Very cool. Anybody else got good memories of these old Rover P6s? Let me know. I really like them. I drove quite a lot of them over the years. The only thing I found with them is that four cylinder was a bit anemic and the V8 was a bit thirsty. But apart from that, what a great car they were. And they're also a little bit small inside. Like I said, the standard Rovers like the P5. In fact, if you really want to know a little interesting bit of history, they ran the P5 and the P6 consecutively. And they ran the P5 for quite a bit longer. And the reason they ran the P5 for longer is because government ministers struggled to fit inside this car. They wanted just more room in the back, so they continued the P5 as a stand alongside model for years. I think the P5 ran out in 70 something. I think it was 70 or 72. I think I've seen a K plate. And that basically was because they just wanted government cars with more room for the ministers. Even Margaret Thatcher came in 79 in a P5 rather than a P6. But the P5 was very much a loved car in the police force. And of course, when they changed it to the SD1, man, what a jump forward the SD1 was when you look at this. You imagine how long they ran this body style for. The SD1 came out, and that was probably the most beloved police car of all time until the Granadas. But definitely the Jam Sandwich SD1 was really, really recognisable, as were these. I mean, they used this style from, I think it was 63 till would have been 76. 13 years of a body style is a long time to run a car, but obviously they weren't doing so well at that point in time, and they were still selling these because they were a nice quality, nice car, and people really enjoyed driving them. Very quiet inside and quite comfortable. Really nice ride on them. And they were very, very, very reliable. I think they only used the V8s for the police cars. I can't remember seeing the 2000s around, and maybe in the early years. But let me know what you think of them. All the best. Thanks.